Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of SafeDefend Live. Phil Nichols here, joined today by the founder, CEO, the boss man, Jeff Green. Hey, Jeff.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day, brother. Green beer is on tap in many places. Chicago. Do you like the turning of the water green in Chicago?
You know, whether I do or don't, I would never touch that tradition and say I didn't, because
exactly where I'm at. That's what I told my
So actually, it doesn't bother me.
I think it's great.
Yeah, it seems to be a pretty popular deal in Chicago, getting that going. So although I think it's pretty cool, but even if I didn't, I wouldn't say that. So
that's right. One of the cool things we're seeing, it's it's sad we got to have this, but becoming more of a tradition and more of a standard is more and more states are investing in programs, training, education to keep our schools and our students and our teachers safe. We're seeing that all across the country. More and more states every day are rolling out there. There's a big announcement in Oklahoma later part of last week, and I know that's true all over the state. SafeDefend's really getting aggressive in Texas, having a lot of great things going on there. Illinois, Wyoming, all the different states. So, give us kind of a state of the union from founder and CEO and career educators' perspective of what you're seeing from our government friends, the legislative branches, as far as trying to push monies and programs out to the schools.
Well, I think we're finally seeing the focus on safety come full circle, right? Parents have been very focused on that for quite some time. Every time there's a major mass event, it puts it right back in the forefront. We've said this before, but for some reason, Uvalde has really seemed to be kind of that catalyst for really pushing it to get to the next level. Now we're not just talking about school safety. We're starting to see states really invest in school safety now. And some are, like Texas, are putting substantial amounts of money, hundreds of millions of dollars. Others are, I wouldn't call it getting their toe in the water, because it is a pretty strong investment, but we're kind of all over the board, everything from 10 million to hundreds of millions, depending on the state, going into school safety. So, that's good news for parents. That's good news for teachers. That's good news for kids. Saying school safety is a priority, but then not having the funds to be able to really implement an effective approach, rather than that perceived safety measures that we've relied on for years, is going to make a difference, and we're happy to see that.
Well, I think I know in Oklahoma, I believe it was $20 million in Oklahoma that they've earmarked, and that doesn't sound like hundreds of millions, and then you realize there's only about 4 million people in Oklahoma compared to
right.
So everything's relative, right?
Sure, absolutely.
So I think it's interesting seeing the commitments, like you said, from our legislative bodies, acknowledging and understanding that we've got to take real action that has and give people the resources they need to do the things they want to. You talked to thousands of superintendents of schools, school board members, leaders in schools. I don't know that I've ever met anybody where SafeDefend was discussed that they didn't want
it. I'd have to really think to see. There's always various levels of interest depending on what
right.
they're really looking for. But those that get to see what SafeDefend does, understand that we're on the prevention side, we're on the training side, we're on the actual what do you do if, God forbid, something happens side. We cover the entire spectrum of needs and ability to improve that scenario or that potential issue all the way across the board. And so when we get a chance to talk with people, it's it's really exciting. Again, and one of the things that always in the past is you can have a lot of want, but if you don't have the money to be able to go out and get something, whether it's SafeDefend or anything that's going to improve safety, makes it very difficult. So, we're getting feedback from superintendents that, hey, now's the time. They're in a position where they actually can go out and make meaningful improvements for school safety. And it's people we've talked to even 2-3 years ago are coming and saying, hey, I can do this now, and we're ready.
Yeah.
So
it's good to see. Talk a little bit about, we're starting to get a real foothold in Texas. And Texas has been on the radar for SafeDefend for some time. We got to remember safety. We'd love to be able to go out and do everything everywhere at one time, but SafeDefend's a business. You got to run it as such. Back to that comment about all it takes is money, right?
Right.
But you've done a great job. The team's done a great job at SafeDefend. It's allowed good, controlled growth throughout the country and starting to get a real foothold in Texas. Talk a bit about our work down there and continued efforts in the great state of Texas.
Yeah, we brought on our first Texas district, North Texas Collegiate, in the Denton area, and we're sending out proposals to several more in that area. Of course, Uvalde was in Texas, so Texas is definitely vested in school safety as much, if not more so, than any other state right now. And so, we're having conversations, almost daily with school districts in Texas. Really looking for that meaningful safety solution. There's still a ton of safety companies out there. And every time you put money in this type of scenario, you see new ones just come out of the woodwork. And but having something that's meaningful, that's going to make a difference, that really is a holistic approach, not just a patch. And that's what SafeDefend really is. And that's the feedback we're getting. So we're excited to finally get a foothold in Texas. It's almost its own country in a way that it's so big, and having to have the bandwidth to be able to get in there and do that. So we're finally in a position to be able to do that. We're sending out multiple proposals to the Wyoming area as well. We're getting one's going out to Illinois today. So it's Texas is very exciting, but we're seeing it all over the country.
I think what's interesting, you got this densely populated state like Texas, then you have Wyoming. And to me, that really tells you how much this issue is really starting to be looked at and addressed, because you've got all types of areas. You got the urban schools, the rural schools, it doesn't matter. Or these, I think there's probably more people in a third of Dallas than there is the entire state of Wyoming, as far as population base. And but you're seeing it everywhere. It's really, that part of it is exciting, because for people that spend their lives trying to make schools safer, businesses safer, we're starting to see the things that we've all known for years that needed to happen to really start addressing this problem happen.
And honestly, it's two different needs, right? So, in your high population density areas,
yep.
Your likelihood of a threat probably is quite a bit higher than it is in the rural areas. But places in Wyoming, or even Kansas, Missouri, some of the rural areas, the problems they have is the response time can be substantially delayed. So, no other system really takes that on and fits both of those needs better than SafeDefend. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah. Some of the districts we work with, they may be able to get one officer there in 10 minutes, but they're not going to get two there for probably 20, 25.
Right.
And so how are the staff going to manage if something does happen? And then in Texas or densely populated environments, your threat levels go up. And you've got more people that could potentially want to do harm, and you need to lock that building down within seconds. You need to get as many resources as you can pouring that direction within seconds, and that's what we do. So it's pretty exciting to have a solution that fits so many needs.
Yeah, and I think the training stuff. That to me, that's the big jump, right? Over the last several years at SafeDefend. Of course, always been able to do great training, but Dr. Vecchi joining the SafeDefend family and team this past year has been a huge deal for us and for our customers, because we're able to really bring some cutting edge training. I know there's going to be some cool announcements coming out down the road on some training that Dr. Vecchi has designed that's in his latest book that I think is going to be pretty cool. We'll be announcing that down the road.
Pretty shortly, actually. It's pretty exciting stuff that states are really starting to mandate, just as a little bit of a teaser, starting to mandate threat identification, intervention, and prevention. And Dr. Vecchi has put together a very powerful solution for that. So the official announcement will come down the road on what that's going to look like when we get that ironed out. But very exciting on that end of it. And again, it goes back to that. No other company is as focused on the front end with the training, with the prevention, with the really being able to try to reduce the risk to schools. But we know we can't get that risk to an absolute zero. So there's always going to be, the potential that person that's not in the building, that comes from the outside, or even somebody that slips through the cracks. And so then what do you do when something does happen? So all these companies that are out there, they tend to specialize in kind of that response training, or they tend to specialize in notification. We literally have taken it to the most comprehensive start to finish level of any company that's in existence in the school safety world right now.
Of course, talking about right to bang, left to bang, that left to bang,
right?
That preventative measures and identification and just know-how that we can arm our educators with to help them help the people that need help to prevent these kind of problems. And so we're excited about that. I know some big training events coming up in Ohio with Dr. Vecchi and the training team. So a lot of great things going on at SafeDefend. Jeff, I'm going to give you final words as we wrap this episode up. What do you want to share with the folks?
Have a happy and safe St. Patty's Day. Everybody's a little bit Irish today, so enjoy it. But I hope everybody has a safe day. We've got snow on the ground in Kansas for our St. Patty's Day, so that takes some of the excitement away from it. But SafeDefend is we're rolling right now. It's unbelievable how many presentations and how much demand there is right now for effective school safety, and we're excited about that, and looking forward to just continuing to help support customers and potential customers, making sure that their staff and students are safe.
We appreciate it, Jeff. You guys are doing good work, and keep doing what you're doing. It's much appreciated. It doesn't go unnoticed. I know there's we see a lot of comments when we post our SafeDefend lives, and folks will comment about what's shared, and it is having an impact. So we appreciate what you guys are doing. I'll echo, have a safe St. Patrick's Day, and go Jayhawks.
Absolutely. Rock chalk.
All right, brother. Have a great weekend.
All right. We'll do it. Take care.